Today we're going to talk about what are the 5 ways people make it in the top 1% of wealth according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, so if you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Here's what you're looking at. To be in the top 10%, there's 13 million Americans that are in the top 10%. That net worth is roughly $1.6 million, and the average age of somebody in the top 10% is 56 years old. Top 1%, 1.3 million, average net worth $11 to $13 million, average age 62 years old. 0.1%, only 130,000, $60 million net worth, 65 years old. 0.01% is 13,000 people, average net worth is $227 million, age 67 years old, and we have roughly 1,135 people in the top 0.001%. To be in that category, your net worth is $1 billion and the average age is 70 years old. So when you look at this, you see one pattern. What's the pattern? Everybody is above 56 years old who is in the top 10%. The top 1%, 60 plus. Now, what are the 5 ways on how they make their money? Number 1 way that they create their wealth in business is business ownership. 45 to 50%, they created their wealth in business ownership, entrepreneurship. I started a business, I grew it. On paper, I'm worth $200 million. I sell my business for $600 million. I own 30% of it. I get $180 million. I pay 23.9% taxes on it. I end up keeping somewhere around $140-something million. I'm worth $140 million. So number 2 is investment and capital gains. That's roughly 25 to 30% of people. This is when you hear stats when they say the top 1% owns more than half of equities in America. Real estate, stocks, private equity, that's how they make their money. Number 3 is savings and retirement. This is 10 to 15%. 401k, you put your 403b, mutual funds, Roth IRA. The part that makes it very interesting here is it says families who consistently save 20 to 30%. You know what the average American saves nowadays? It's somewhere around 1 to 5%. They don't save a lot. He's saying 20 to 30%, this article. If it's 20 to 30%, this means I could be making $300,000 a year, I could be making $200,000 a year, and I'm saving 20% of it, which means my cost of living has to be super low, and I'm not buying the brand spanking new car and renewing my phone every time a new iPhone comes out. I may be on an iPhone 8, I may be on an iPhone 6. I don't have to get the latest, greatest thing. That's number 3. Number 4, inheritance and family wealth, 10 to 15%. Number 5, windfalls and one-time events. This is lawsuits, IPO, lottery, 3 to 5%. Now, this is the kicker. Over my lifetime, 21 years old, I'm coming up, I'm like, I got out of the army, I want to be rich. I want to find a way to make money. Nobody in my family ever made money. We didn't own a house. I've never lived in a house. It's always been an apartment. I started kind of going through it for myself. Here's what I realized. As I'm coming up in business, and I've been fortunate enough to make a good amount of money in my lifetime, number 1, the guys who did, for whatever reason, they're long-term thinking. They don't sit there and go impatient. Oh my God, I need it right now. Didn't work out quick. Go to the next one. Oh my God, I need it right now. Boom, next. Oh my God, there's something. Boom, next thing. No, they understand your best friend is momentum. And when you have momentum, you know what you look like? You look like a mythical figure. Elon right now is worth $460 billion. And then all of a sudden you hear about Larry Ellison, which is one of Elon Musk's closest allies, who invested, I think, $2 billion in Tesla. He made $100 billion in a day. How does that happen? Did he do something today? No. It's long-term thinking, momentum eventually caught up, and money becomes easier to make long-term. Number 2, a strong network. Somehow, some ways, they get in rooms and they build good relationships. They go from this door to that door to the next door to the next door, and then all of a sudden they're sitting in front of the guy. How did I all of a sudden get in front of him, and what do you do with that relationship? So somehow, some way, they build strong networks, they keep them, and they find ways to maximize them. Number 3, is specialized knowledge. The more specialized your knowledge is, the more you'll make money. There's typically a couple different ways that guys at the highest level that start companies do well. Those are guys that are extremely product driven. So that's technical. I'm going to build a great product, but they're not the best salespeople. Or incredibly driven, great with people, human nature sales, and they sell their idea to others, and they know how to sit down with folks, get them to invest into their company. So it's hardcore people, hardcore product, but generally specialized knowledge. And even if you say sales and people, knowing how to sell and negotiate is a form of specialized knowledge. And then number 4 is your relationship with risk, your risk tolerance, the way they dance with risk. Some people can't handle it. You could be in a position where there's so much risk, it's so intense, it's so scary, it's so unbelievably taxing on your mental, emotional state. Oh my God, what are you doing? And people break. And then they realize, I can't handle it, especially in this moment where you have to be a number 1 in a company, or you have a lot of pressure with certain investments you're making, but they have a very good understanding of risk. And by the way, if you're watching this, you're saying, I'm not a guy that risks, I don't want a lot of risk. Totally understand it. But that is understanding your what? Your risk tolerance. Number 5, how they handle success. And I added one more word, how they handle success and humiliation and setback. A lot of times people don't know how to handle success. So what is the difference between these two guys? Success, all of a sudden somebody becomes successful, they go nose high, I'm better than you, you have no clue who you are, and then boom, there's a fall. Or they have a setback before they have a victory, and that humiliation prevents them from getting here. But guess what? To win at the highest level, you're both gonna have, in order to experience a lot of this, you have to be willing to experience a lot of that. Most are not gonna experience it. There's none of these guys that are all the way at the top. If we wanna go through all these guys that we're talking about, what percentage they're in, guess what? Who in here you think's been humiliated more? The 1%, 0.1, 0.01, or 0.001? What do you think it is? Who do you think has the most negative articles written about them? Who do you think's publicly always made fun of? It's these guys. How do they make it? You think they like it? You think they're robots and it doesn't bother them? They eventually realize that there's nothing you can do about it. It is part of the game, and you have to be willing to realize how to deal with this. Very few know how to deal with that. Last but not least, it never gets old. It's my favorite. It's cash, period. I know people that if you paid them $100,000, they were broke. When we were 15 years old and they made $6,000 a year at Burger King, they were broke. When they made $200,000 a year, they were broke. When they all of a sudden made $1 million a year, they were broke. It doesn't matter what you pay them. They're always broke. No matter how much money you pay them, they don't understand the concept of having money stay with them. Comes in, goes. It's like athletes. Pay $100 million to this player, 20 years later, he's got nothing left to himself. This is such a powerful thing because so many incredible opportunities come up for you later on when you have cash. From being my son, he's already saved up some $9,000 in cash. You have to see how detailed this guy is when it comes down to his savings. As a kid, from very, very young, when he got his first $5, first $20, first $40, he saves that money in a wild way. And so he's sitting there saying, Daddy, I can buy this, Daddy, I can invest this. So the mindset of this starts very early. If you're somebody that no matter how much money you make, it's always leaving your hands, you have to change that mindset immediately, or else very quickly when you're 62 years old, making a lot of money, you're gonna calculate and say, in my lifetime, I've made roughly $2.4 million. How much is left to me? Why do I only have $117,000 in my 401k? Why is that? What happened to all that money that I made? Well, guess what? You were a spender. You were not a person that was even a saver or an investor. You were only a spender. So those are some of the things when somebody sees these numbers and they're like, is it just one way to become wealthy? What do I need to do? Nope. Every one of these guys are about 56 years old. They all have to be patient to realize long-term, I'm playing the long-term game. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen to people sometimes faster, but if you look at a pattern for everybody, long-term, you eventually join the 1% and have money in the bank, net worth, so you don't have to worry about retirement savings, all the other stuff that you want to do for your life. If you have any questions about what I talked about today, download the app Connect. Ask me any questions you may have on this topic. If I don't have the answer, I'll introduce you to somebody else. 20 Rules of Money. If you've never watched it, go back and watch that from 2017. In 2017, I was inside the tornado of trying to build my insurance company. 6 years later, 6 years or 5 years later, after that video you watch, I sold my insurance company for $250 million. So it'll be interesting when you watch it being given to you from a 8 years ago video. So click here to watch the 20 Rules of Money. And if you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye, bye-bye.